Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 1.35% to 46,356. Ethereum up 4.83% to 3455. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explained the smart money mindset. My goal is to help you succeed one trade at a time, by combining the strengths of investing and trading, to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Thank you for being a part of our globally extended family. I very much appreciate you being here. And thank you very much to our beautiful community for your very kind well wishes. As crypto technical analysts, we scientifically track investor attention. We know how to mark up our charts. We know how to assess trends inside and outside crypto. We have a professional mindset where we fight the concepts of self-doubt and self-sabotage, and then we look at specific methodologies on how to buy and how to sell. One of the important things to do is to understand how the markets are going. When we look at cryptocurrency, it's a really tiny market in comparison with the stock market and the bond market globally. But crypto is in its really early phases. It's just getting going. It is the next evolution of the internet. Looking throughout the US market, we can see that the fear index, the VIX, had a bit of a bounce, but it's actually come down. That's very interesting. We don't often see this kind of movement. We generally get very spiky action in the VIX. When we look at economic confidence through the NASDAQ 100, we saw the NASDAQ coming down. It's reached a level of support, but it's really interesting to take a note of how the fear gauge is moving. When we look at economic concern through the bond prices, we can see bond prices starting to come up. When we look at gold, gold is basically at a level of support. The DXY, the US dollar currency index, has rallied up. We can see bond yields moving inversely from bond prices. They've been pushed down. Also, oil has come down just a little bit, and the 5-year break-even inflation rate has also come down. When I look at these charts, I can see there are quite a few mixed messages here, but I see that also fear is overextended. We're actually due for a spike up in fear. This could cause the NASDAQ to fall further, but please bear in mind the overall market structure looks really good. Masterclass students, you will get my live chart in TM6. The markets will often throw out mixed messages. There's no certainty in financial markets. In fact, Rule 114, markets penalize certainty. With this in mind, we need to be really good detectives. We look at the stock market and the bond market. These two markets interplay with each other. When stocks get too risky, money flows out of the stock market into bonds. And this actually raises the price of bonds. If we look at the inverse of bond prices compared to Bitcoin, we can see a fairly good correlation playing out here. And what do we notice with the inverse of bond prices? The perspective on the market is for upward momentum. Masterclass students, you'll get this in LV10. Inflation expectations have a good correlation with Bitcoin as well. When we notice the 10-year break-even and the 5-year break-even, they've been coming up recently. We've seen a minor retracement here just recently, and we've seen Bitcoin come up with a minor retracement as well. It's really good to collect your facts. It's almost like you're a market or crypto detective. A lot of people are talking about yield curve inversion, but they use a very specific calculation of the yield curve called the Wall Street yield curve. and this 10-year minus 2-year has been proven to be quite unreliable. Arturo Estrella uses the 10-year minus the 3-month. This has proved to be a much more accurate measure, and we can see the yield curve here is much further away from inverting. It's very important to know what data sources are the correct ones. Masterclass students, you'll get this in LV13. It's also not a bad idea to look at geopolitical risk. When we look at gold and silver, we can see gold and silver are making their way down as Bitcoin and the inverse DXY starts to flatten out. This is really good for us to understand. We have specific geopolitical risk measurement in the economy. We keep our mind on it. If geopolitical risk is actually falling, that's a really good thing. Markets tend to go up when geopolitical risk goes down. Like a good detective, we traditionally collect from a lot of data sources, and some of those data sources may give conflicting data. And when we look at war sentiment through the top defense stocks, what we actually see is an improvement in those stocks. We need to keep this in mind as well. These can be early warning signals. We need to look at this because the conflict, Russia and Ukraine. Also, when we compare the NASDAQ 100, the different indices inside the US market, they're all those green ones, to other global markets, we're seeing some upward price momentum across the board. And you can see this white line, that's the Russian index. That's now open. It's doing a bit of a bounce, but it's seriously under resistance. Across the world, we're still dealing with C19. There's 489.27 million C19 cases around the world. We've seen a decrease in the number of new daily cases and a drop-off on the death rate. That's fantastic. And when we look at yesterday's figures, we can see 1.5 million new cases. This is really good to keep an eye on because it will impact the transportation sector. There are a lot of economic theories and stock market theories about how the transport sector moves. If, for example, the transportation sector moves down, we would expect a recession. What are we actually seeing? Well, we're seeing that price is just moving in a wave. We've got some degree of recovery here, and we can notice the airlines index. That's that white one. The airline index is looking quite good. I've just isolated it for you. Then as we overlay the NASDAQ 100, we can see it coming up with Bitcoin as well. When we overlay the other transportation indexes, we see that we're getting a curve around. Basically, the transport indexes, they are wobbling a bit. They've come down recently quite hard in the past couple of sessions, but the concept is they're on their way up. This is really good to take note of. The reason that we do all this detective work is because of Rule 225. Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. And we look at the US market because it's the dominant stock market in the world. And looking through our various pieces of evidence, it looks like the markets are turning around. They're going higher. But we would expect some degree of wobble. It's just important to keep your eye on the bigger picture. One thing we focus on as crypto technical analysts, we must have a professional mindset. We're basically detectives. Looking at conflicting data can be really upsetting for a lot of people, but Rule 570 can help out with this. Psychology sets profitability. When turning to KS zone analysis, the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 and Zone 2, these are the amateur zones. Unfortunately, the rules that people apply here, the natural rules, the rules that you feel that you should do without actual knowledge of the market, create losses. These are the rules of losing money, and that is buying on green, selling on red, going all in or all out, getting addicted to the news, indicators, certainty. wanting to get in without any losses. Professionals actually enter the market at a loss. They think completely differently. One thing that you will always see with Zone 1 and Zone 2 behavior is an addiction to certainty. There is no certainty inside financial markets. You have to be a really, really good detective. If you win at a trade or win at an investment, you've done your homework. That is what it's all about. What basically happens in Zone 1 and Zone 2, and please know that all professionals start in these zones. Nobody skips a zone. When people start off, they're panicking. They don't know what to get into. They light switch in and out of opportunities. They don't want to actually do too much work on understanding the market. They just want to get in and make those incredible gains that they've been promised. And people say that you can make 100% gain with 0% loss. Those people are scammers. That's not true. Markets demand losses as a tuition fee. Losses are battle scars, and they harden you up to get out of panic into blame. And this sounds rather pretty weird. How do you go from panic to blame? Basically, this happens when people don't really want to have accountability over what they're doing. They panic, throw money at a wide range of random things, and then when it doesn't turn out the way they want, they target someone to blame. And that's just human nature. But the problem is when people loop through Zone 1 and Zone 2 continuously, they get to a point of saying, I think I need to learn about the market. They get to a point where they say, well, panic and blame, they're not helping me. They're not making me profitable. And it takes a lot of effort and energy to get out of Zone 1 and Zone 2 into Zone 3. Zone 3 is where you have the rules of making money. We buy on red, sell on green. We have three-way decision making. Up in Zone 1 and Zone 2, it's pretty much one-way decision making. We make the percentages work for us. We have patience. We don't view a green market as being green forever. We actually contextualize the behavior. We've got lots and lots of rules. We use a specific methodology to mark up our charts, which is designed for crypto, which is the CTKS method. We have a 10-5-10 fund where we make volatility our best friend. We're stuck in reality. We're not stuck in promises. In Zone 1 and Zone 2, people get a lot of promises about different projects, and those promises are designed to market the project. They're designed to get your money into the project. When the promise doesn't meet reality, price collapses, and that's when people blame. And it's absolutely reasonable that that would happen. In Zone 3, we don't care about what promises anybody makes. We do the analysis independently. We collect probabilities. We're based in realism, and that's very, very important. We scale in and scale out of trades. We don't try to overload too many trades or too many investments, and we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. Going from probability and rules and knowledge and skill, of course you are going to make money. You just need to know the rules and obey those rules, and you will be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. But making money in and of itself is a very, very empty profession. Zone 4 is where we give meaning to our life. This is through a positive excellence life trend, integrity, decency, kindness, strength, boundaries, inner and outer peace. These things are very, very important. You can have literally all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, what is the point? Also, if you're in toxic relationships or toxic environments that make you miserable, that's not so good either. That's why we focus on maintaining a positive excellence life trend. That's all covered in the real wealth section, the crypto technical analysts learn. And it's also important to get a really good relationship with money. Many people have a negative perspective on money. Money is simply neutral. Good people do good things with money. Bad people do bad things with money. Having more money does not make you bad. It makes you capable of doing more good. A lot of people ask me, what percentage can I make in crypto? I always ask them, what is your psychology like? What's your relationship with money like? And most especially, what zone are you in? As you get to higher and higher zones, you don't even focus on money. Money is an output. It's never an input. When people first get into the crypto market, zone 1, zone 2, they look for these big percent greens and they say, wow, it's gone up so much. It's a sure thing. It's going to go up 10 times more than that now. But there's a problem. Just as Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity, Rule 45, no altcoin can escape Bitcoin's gravity either. Actually, what it means in practice, if you're looking at your beloved alts and you're not looking at Bitcoin, you will lose money. And we don't want you to lose money. I want you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Have a look at Bitcoin's price action. At the present time, it's 46,153. We've seen it come up to a level of resistance, get rejected, get pushed down, find some support, try to get up to this very tight resistance line, not make it. This is called negative air. Negative air is not such a good thing. What we actually see here is potential momentum to the downside. When you look at the market without the knowledge of the market, you would say, it's so green, I'm going all in and more. You would say, everything's fine, the water's fine, but there could be sharks in there. We've got to be really careful. And the crypto market is so incredibly volatile as well. That means that it moves up by major percentages. When people come from the stock market or from Forex into crypto, they just can't believe the volatility of the market. Crypto is the most volatile market on the planet. And a lot of people say, oh, Ken, the NASDAQ, the stock market, it doesn't make any difference to my beloved alt. But you can see the directional movement of the stock market is playing out on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's gravity will play out on your alts. This is why when you know the rules, you'll do really well. But if you don't know the rules, you will lose money. We've seen some really interesting behavior. The number of longs have come out of the market, and we've seen the number of shorts just kind of come in tentatively in the market. Let's have a look at liquidations. In the past 24 hours, there's been $282.67 million worth of liquidations across 80,764 positions. In the past 24 hours, around 62% of liquidations were long liquidations, and we can see shorts and longs are always getting liquidated. If you're using leverage in the crypto market, please be prepared to lose it. It's really dangerous to actually use leverage. Just use spot. Spot means that you own it. You can hold on to it. You don't pay any fees for holding it. That's really important until you learn the lessons. And even then, you don't have to leverage trade. As a beloved CTKS ambassador said, friends don't let friends leverage trade. So what does all this mean? Basically, we've got negative air, a lot of indecision, people losing their confidence to come into the market and go for it. The shorts and the longs don't have confidence, neither side. People are just waiting to see what happens. And to add a further level of complication, we're just approaching the weekend. On the weekends, the trading volume is quite light. What does that actually mean? When the trading volume is light, it takes less money to move price around by larger percentages. We can see excess volatility across the weekends. You can see even here on Sunday, towards Sunday night, we had a huge spike up in Bitcoin. That was on the weekend. That was not on Monday. In the comments section, you might like to just make an educated guess. Where do you think price will go for Bitcoin across the weekend? Into the A zone, into the B zone, the C zone, or the D zone? It's a really good thing to actually share those kind of opinions. We have an incredible community. Everybody is very, very for each other. There's no toxicity inside our community. What people do is that they just help and support each other. And I've noticed a lot of people that have been viewing the channel for quite some time have started to comment. I find that just so beautiful. Thanks so much, everyone. And you'll find that you're just meeting friends that you haven't met in person yet. Our community is just a magnificent community. It's a globally extended family. In the comment, if you're a little shy, you might just like to put A, B, C, or D. Just pick one of them. The top performers over the last 7 days are ZIL, SKL, Waves, Aave, SNX, VET, and Sol. They've all done very, very well. The minimum uptick is Sol on 37.7% and ZIL up 312.54%. With the crypto market, opportunities reset daily. In Zone 3, we have a thing called a 10-5-10 fund. What it basically means, it's a conceptual understanding. When you have something that you bought at $10, if it goes down to $5, you lost 50%. But if it goes from 5 back up to 10, you actually price increase 100% just to get back to where you were. We make these percentages move for us. There's another way to do it, and that's compounding per time period. If a person for a week put $1,000 in and got $100 back, that's a 10% return. A lot of investors would say, oh, hey, you really lost out. But the concept, if that person could keep doing it every single week, and we're not suggesting that everybody needs to do that. You don't need that stress. You don't need that tension. It's just like the 10-5-10 rule. It is a concept. It's an idea. But when you understand it, everything changes, literally. If you could do that, for example, and many in the community do it, what you would see is 10% over a week compounded annually is 11,639%. If you took that 1,000 and got that 11,639% over 1 year, it would turn into 117,390. The key point here is understanding that small percentages moved around frequently can create huge gains from small numbers. This really is a game changer for a lot of people. What typically happens is investors do their hodling. They've got diamond hands all through the retracement. There's a better way. We can actually be a hodler and a trader, and all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. So it's really important to buy effectively. What you will find as you become more and more professional, which is what we are about as a community, is Rule 7. Buying creates profits. Even if you've bought and you're experiencing a loss, if you buy and manage effectively that trade on the way down, you can turn it around, and you can turn it around substantially. Let's have a look at some top cryptos. We can see Bitcoin has had that resistance, sold down, bounce, but still under resistance. That's what we looked at with the ABCD. Notice Bitcoin's fingerprint. This is the gravity of Bitcoin. That's that blue line. This is Ethereum. You can see Ethereum has recovered far more powerfully than Bitcoin. And this is what the alts do. They over-exaggerate the upward and downward movements, sometimes very, very dramatically. Binance coin coming up to resistance. You can see Bitcoin is below that resistance. Binance coin is about here. Bitcoin is down here in terms of these two charts. Enhancing your pattern recognition is really, really important. We can see XRP took a really big hit in yesterday's trading session, but it's bounced around that support line. That's why knowing where to draw supports is really, really important. We can see Cardano, ADA, following Bitcoin's gravity. And look at Solana. Solana is rocketing. It's over-exaggerating the upward movement in Bitcoin, and it's lower percentages in terms of downward movement, but it's all within the gravity. Please bear this in mind. This is really important to understand. A lot of people don't understand this, and a lot of the influencers out there, they don't talk about it either. Having an institutional smart money mindset is very important. That is only gained in Zone 3 and Zone 4. Zone 1 and Zone 2 is the retail mindset. That's the mindset of extreme stress, sleepless nights, major losses, leverage trading without knowledge. Horrible, horrible place to be. When we look at Luna, we can see Luna is obeying Bitcoin's gravity. And also AVAX. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity, but you get about 1% that do temporarily. But when you have a big up move or a big down move, they come into gravity, into gravitational alignment. Looking at Matic, we see Matic moving with Bitcoin. This is really revolutionary to a lot of people. When they look at their alt, they say, wow, Bitcoin is pushing my alt around. And it does. And when Bitcoin goes up, that's fantastic. But when Bitcoin goes down, your alt will probably go down a lot more. But when Bitcoin goes up, your alt will go, or should go up a lot more than Bitcoin. That's why we love the alts. Let's have a look at Atom, Cosmos. It's doing the same kind of thing, just under resistance. NIR is doing its thing. It's getting above resistance now. DOT. What is DOT doing? It's still below resistance, just like Bitcoin. Phantom is starting to come up. It's really interesting. We looked at Phantom as a community, and I said, I'm buying Phantom because of this unsustainable downward price momentum. And I was accumulating a trade at a loss, which I shared my results in a previous episode. Unlike a lot of other influencers, I actually show you how the trade goes. And in the masterclass, I put the transaction details from the exchange. Everything is 100% open. The concept is what we saw here from this low around $1. Phantom has gone up more than 50%. This is why we always buy at a loss. And it's the last thing that anyone inside Zone 1 and Zone 2 would do. People want certainty. They feel that if price is coming down like this, it's just going to go all the way to zero. It doesn't work that way. That's why we use the CTKS method, because that method helps us understand what the dynamics are or the personality of that particular crypto. This is just one example of how you can turn really, really good returns very, very quickly, realistically, but you need the knowledge. On Phantom, this in excess of 50% movement occurred in the past 17 days, and many people inside the community were just cycling in and out of these price movements because Rule 4, price always moves in a wave. We can see KSM starting to get near to passing that resistance, not there yet. Rune is trying to get through that resistance. It's what Bitcoin is doing. And Waves has been absolutely rocketing. I've got Rune and Waves because Here I believe this will give us a really good indication into the market, and if the market's changing character. The market always changes character, and we just get in before it does. For example, some time ago I said I'm getting into ADA, and a lot of people said, Ken, why are you getting into ADA? ADA looks like it's going to basically tank. And ADA did quite well. This is the real concept of trading. Trading is all about timing. Investing is time in the market. Trading is timing the market. They're very, very different things. Unfortunately, a lot of influencers, especially retail influencers, do not know how to trade. And anybody who's been through the masterclass knows that. It's very easy to see when people can trade. Just remember, if you want to get into any crypto, remember Rule 5. You can always buy lower. Please don't FOMO in. And always act like a professional, and that is have an in advance understanding of what you will do if price goes up, for example, and that's the way you're going long, it goes down or goes sideways. What we see inside Zone 1 and Zone 2, people only have one strategy. That absolutely stresses them out. If you have 3 strategies, that will help you to become more of a financial blessing. And remember, you must keep your eye on Bitcoin. What happens if Bitcoin collapses down to A and then keeps on going to B? That could happen. What could happen, for example, if Bitcoin goes up to C and then through D? And that also could happen. What we actually have to do is collect every single probability from every single part of the market. And 2 really good ones that you might like to keep your eye on are the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. You can see optimism occurs here when this particular line chart goes up, and it's accompanied by positive price action. When price comes down, people start to feel more fear. The other thing you might like to keep an eye on is aggregated open interest. When open interest is increasing, we expect prices to increase. When it goes down, we expect prices to go down. There's a very strong correlation between aggregated open interest and Bitcoin's price. And you know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. So your beloved alt will be pushed around by Bitcoin. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. I'd like to thank the very kind and generous community members who've reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/CryptoTradingKS. Thanks so much, everyone. I'd especially like to thank Raptors Al, Vicente, Amir, Kathleen, Jay, Rob, Nicholas, Tessa, LGRC, Julie, Keen, June, Bluebird Cafe, and Johan. So many beautiful comments. Thanks so much, everyone. It's very kind of you. I'd just like to let the coffee club know, those people who've reached out and bought me a coffee, as my way of saying thank you for your generosity. Every month I put a new video covering a different rule into the coffee club. Sometimes these rules do not appear anywhere else but the coffee club. I'd like to let you know that over the next couple of days, because unfortunately I've not been so well recently, I've had a week of doctor's appointments. Anyway, I'll be putting a coffee club video together for everyone. I'd also like to thank the community for their very beautiful well wishes. It means a lot to me. Thanks everyone so much. If you're new to the coffee club, to find those rules, you just go into the post page and you can see those 8 videos there. If you're new to the community, welcome. And I've also given links in the description of this video. To find those links, you just press the show me and you can see all those different links in there. Actually, it's show more. And we have a few other community members going through a life pullback at the moment. Please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. There's always hope, and the sun will come out again. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you here. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students, and of course a very big special thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global KS family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the crypto tax software that I use, and also links to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please seek out a CTKS ambassador to get 80% off. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. As a special bonus, because you've stayed to the end, and I really acknowledge your persistence and commitment, I'm going to give you 5 of the hottest cryptos in the market right now. It's Alpha, GMT, Aave, SKL, and Dodo. The 5 coldest are Ren, Waves, BCH, People, and Chiliz, but they're not too cold. The market is pretty good. It's looking quite healthy, but please bear in mind, we have negative air in Bitcoin at the moment. The most critical thing that we can do is to get up to that point C and then over D. C is under resistance, D is over resistance and above support. D is the place we want to get to. But just bear in mind what's happening with Bitcoin at the moment. That negative air will be overcome when Bitcoin's price trades above 47,000. You might like to keep that number in your mind. Bitcoin at 47 is a good thing. Let's see if it can maintain it. Bitcoin at 47,111 is even better. Okay, I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.